This day 551 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming year or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Chav Ches, Chav Aleph to Chav Tes. Chav Al, Omer Chazal, Kol Makar Sheyesh B'Chalal HaGuf, any wound which is in the cavity of the body, where the inner organs has become messed up, because of a wound which it has, or because of some sort of growth or infection, it's a bubble. When it's the sign of name, and it's inside your lips. In other words, anywhere in your body, and so from behind your lips. Ben b'pi ben me'el, whether it's in your mouth or in your intestines, ben b'chledo, or in your liver, ben b'cholo, or your spleen, or b'shar makom sheb'chal guf, or any other place in the cavity of the body. He is a chole who is in danger. It's much a chole kovedo love, kovedo, and of course, it's going to say that this is of course true if his illness is very heavy. People come Shabbos miyad, have you Shabbos on immediately, below Omed without making any reckoning or estimate. How do we know that there is a wound inside the body? If there's a doctor who says so, you don't need any other signs. The Clarity bar, it's already been clarified. Even if only the doctor says that he's a dangerous, he's a sick person who's in a dangerous situation, that's great the Shabbos for him. If a rofe lagid im ye shamaka, the doctor doesn't have to say there's definitely a wound there. The ire gone below rofe. Well, actually, it's I think there's something missing here. But when it means it means even there's no doctor present to say that there's an internal wound. It's also there is no doctor. And we don't. And this is what we mean. You don't have to have a reckoning. So that's the case. How we know there's an internal wound? But from the pain which the sick person feels, and the torture which is afflicting him from one of his internal organs, the sharina. For this we reckon even we don't know for a fact that there's a wound, you assume that there is one. The Bir Halacha is not so clear about this. He says that even if it's there's a lot of pain, but as long as we don't know for sure that one of the internal organs is in a state of disrepair, can we really be Mechal Shabbos? But if you have a suffix, he says, if you have a suffix, if one internal organ is in a state of disrepair, or and there's no doctor in the city, then you can Mechal Shabbos and to travel to a doctor. So again, the Mishnah Berurah more reticent about the Chilul Shabbos and the Arukh HaShulchan. There is a bracket here. If you might find in Machlekes, a place can be says back about the move on. Evidently, some of the Achronim say there's a Machlekes here, and Arukh HaShulchan says there is no Machlekes. Teeth themselves. The stam cave in a michush ba'alma. If it's just a plain toothache, it is only considered a michush ba'alma. And ache was a solution to Arukh bar. Can't do anything as has been explained. And cave chazakmo, but if it's a very strong pain, to the point that all his body feels ill on this account, even though he's not, doesn't have to lie down. This is a person who is in danger. If your gums have an illness, and it's a very strong pain, until his whole body feels it, as he wrote. It's an internal wound. That's great the Shabbos for this person. Certainly this disease, which I think is some sort of abscess, it begins in the mouth, and finishes in the intestines. Siman, and the sign you have is when you put anything in your mouth, it's the Yotzei Dam mi ben Hasham blood comes out from between your teeth. Machla misukenes. It is a very dangerous disease. Always remember at these junctures that the Matrix Eli died at the age of 52 from a abscessed tooth, which I later learned his brother, who was a dentist, told him not to worry about. Worry. Chav Gimel. Finally, it's part of the Michush Ba'alma. We already explained that a Michush Ba'alma is just some sort of minor ache, ain't no clue. No Chilul Shabbos after that. Was there? Rabbeinu Amav Siv Gimel Mihu Misha Choshim Shinam Mitztar Olav Tio. Somebody who has a problem with his teeth and he has anguish upon it, he wants to get it out. Omer Yehudiot, it tells the non-Jews do it akansho. But this is only, it says Arukh HaShulchan, Al Yudei HaKe'ev, but through the pain, Nechla Kol Guf, the entire body feels ill. Nevertheless, nevertheless, if it's not a true, very powerful toothache, it's not considered to be get or sakana. Dino came with sakana, it's a chol shem with sakana. The mutai de in a hoodie that a non-Jew can do the malacha for you. Avoid you saw, but not a Jew. Why dakir shein moving a tooth have ab malacha. It's a primary category of malacha. You're putting something from a place where it grows. Yes, you said gamma de any hoodie. Some people say even a non-Jew shouldn't pull a tooth. They should certainly start peeve. Because he has to open his mouth and help in the process. But some ain't okay. Mutar and Shomi already wrote that you're allowed to open your mouth wide for that purpose. The halacha says that through a non-Jew, it's possible you can make them even if you're not chole b'chol gufo. Okay, that's the kula. What a kula from the Mishnah Berurah and this simon. The Mishnah also writes that somebody who has a great pain and one's body feels ill from this toothache, nevertheless, a Yisrael can still not take this tooth out because it's not a refuah yadua. It's not a sure part of cure. It might relieve pain, but it's not necessarily curing the whatever the issue is. But a Yisrael, a Jew can provide a salve or ointment, of course, for the person suffering to put into his mouth. Chavta, chol makar shel cholo. Any internal wound, which now doesn't need any estimate, any assessment, I should say, probably. As we said, about few ancient Bekimim, there are no experts present. I feel the sick person doesn't say anything on his own. I feel even if he's not in a bed, he's not forced to stay in bed. Also, you do for this potential wound, everything you will do in a weekday. Even if we refrain from doing one of the things to do on a weekday, he won't be in danger. Nevertheless, we treat it just like we treat it on a weekday, regardless. That's from the Magi Mishnah. But from Rashi, it seems that only where the medical procedure is going to save him of sakana bilada, and not that without that procedure, Yishor b'sakana is going to remain in danger. Then mutzah yisrael chal Shabbos, then he can be chal Shabbos, and then avo below that. But if it's something which you would do during a weekday, but it's not essential for saving a life, ain't l'chal Shabbos b'is l'raisa. You shouldn't do l'chal Shabbos in issa d'oraisa. It's appropriate to be meticulous about this. The Halacha writes, even though according to those who aser, if there's a chashash that by curtailing this procedure, he's going to get weak and his illness will become heavier, then Mechal Shabbos, which I think is pushing. According to the Meiri, he says, if it will strengthen his limbs, also he shouldn't refrain from that, whatever this is, this procedure, because since he's like, since the strengthening his limbs is also something which is important in order to prevent him from succumbing to the disease. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. If we know and recognize that this illness, so you can wait. It's not necessary for him at this moment to have this refuah. Which requires desecration of Shabbos. Also, it's forbidden to desecrate Shabbos, even though it's an internal wound. Therefore, somebody who has some sort of uh, um, um, heart ailment where a gonech is kind of like a barking. Shumasukam, who is in danger of loss and his medical treatment is to drink milk. Imchan Shabbos and Imchal Shabbos, Bisa Doraisa. Shabbos, such as to milk on Shabbos from a goat or a cow. Dua, because it's known the Rishul had there should see a pamachas that by skipping one drinking of milk, Lo Yamasukim won't be put him in danger. Kain Pasku Yishanim, that is Pasku Yishanim, the Ramban and the Rashba. Chafei Maka she'eno shel chalol, a Maka which is not internal. Nish'olim b'baki v'cholol, we ask an expert and we ask a sick person. And we're now Chal Shabbos to one of them says Shu Tzarech l'Chol Shabbos or Chol Shabbos Nesei. Or Shu Recham Meim Shakoponim Yesh Leslavim Nevoshos. Or at the very least that there's a suffix Shloch Gamkin is a Shabbos, which also pushes off Shabbos. Avlavachi, if that also Chalel, a love is a Shabbos. You can't be Chal Shabbos the stomach. Kol Maka Shalagubi Machutz. The default assumption is that any wound which is external, any but Sakaras Fashos has no Fashos danger until your move, she is but Sakaras Fashos, unless stated explicitly that there is. From Chazal said the Makashal Gabi Gavayava Gava Regel, a wound which is on the top of the hand and top of the foot. It's both with Sad Shel Tziporayim. That means it's part of the hand and the foot which is behind the nails, after the fingers behind on the side of the nails. It's like an internal wound. With the Shabbos. Said the Makam said Kashim Sun Chal Guf. I think it's more likely to get infected when it's there. Somebody was bitten by a rabid dog, or a dangerous creepy crawly thing like a snake or a spider. Hamisim which kill. I feel something in memories alive. We're not sure if it kills or not. We're not sure if it's rabid. It's like into a wound. Anytime metal is involved in making a wound, with any degree of force, any place in the body, that is also considered to be sakaras nefashos. And again, I think the danger of infection is much greater with metal. Yes, you should stop it. Those are unsure. You bring a dafka koch if you're a little bit slow koch. It'd be kiveger. It's not sure if it has to be with force or without force. Dafka b'koch. Right, Arukh HaShulchan says it has to be with force in order to be in Chal Shabbos. The Shabur Bialocha says brings the suffix. Rei Kivegan does not render an opinion, but the Arukh HaShulchan does. And based on the Gemara, Lashon Gemara, Kain who? And the Lashon was like this: Padasa sakantahi. Padasa is the danger. Peirush Rashi, Petza machmas cherev. A wound as a result of a sword. Ein sham. Targum al Petza tachas Petza. And the translation, the chumash of the words Petza tachas Petza, Tirgem includes translates pida chala pida, the same word. The pasuk the mefitz v'cherev v'chet shanun. I'm not sure mefitz means here, but the sword and a sharp arrow. Mishlei perish pidia the cipher. He says it's a pidia. And a cipher is I would say the cherev is the cipher, the padilla is the mepit, so I guess mepit here means petza, it's a variation of petza. My pots, he says, my pots, it's a variation of petza, but it's something else. He says, my pots are kunus gala makabakach. It's a large horn which you smite with force. So a mapot makes a petza. A petza must be something which is made with force. So that is why the Arukh HaShulchan determines that the metal is an issue, definitely an issue, only if it's done with force. Sounds like hemorrhoids, but it's boils which come at the anus. Havasakana, it's a danger of Shabbos to Chal Shabbos. While Simta when he called Flunkarabalaz, danger there mazeh. Whatever it says, or is not familiar with it. Amisheshmo kadachas cham biosa, somebody has a high fever. Im simur shakrin shvideren, which is like the chills. Shakrilus v'chamimus ba b'pam achas, where heat and cold come together. Shmirin is like shuddering, right? Mechal Shabbos, Mechal Shabbos. Lafuki stam kadachas, exposed to a regular fever. Shemitchila ba akrilus harachamilus, so first you're cold and then they're hot. Aim is a sakona. That's not a serious sakona. But you can call it shein bo sakona. In that case of a low-grade fever, I guess we could say, has no sakona. Chemishachasol dam. Somebody who is seized by blood, which is a condition we don't recognize nowadays because we don't do bloodletting anymore. Mekizim also avadei Yisrael. You can bloodlet him even by a Jew. The sakona is a danger. I feel like a raglov, even if he can walk. Feel beyond shown. And even if it's the first day in which he's suffering this, when that's sakona because of danger, you can let the blood. Yichasol dam miktsas. If he only has a partial condition of this sort, it's just some sort of ache. Also, if you have to wait until night for a medical procedure. Okay, unless the doctor says it's necessary immediately. A sick person who is in bed on account of fever, he is a person who is considered to be in danger. It's known that before, of course, they had aspirin and such like, that until the fever cracked through perspiration, they were in danger. Afterwards also, until he can get out of bed, he's also going to see sick. And if it seems that he hasn't gotten to the stage of completing his perspiration, have a kriyesh bo sakana, it's like a chol sheish bo sakana, continuously. You know, it said when you're in danger of losing a limb, it can't be chol Shabbos with the doraisa by a Jew. It's eye which is in danger. You're concerned about both your eyes, or if you're by an achas, or even one eye, the exterior is some sort of pus in the eye. Or your eye is tearing because of the pain. Or there's blood in the eye. Or some other form of sticky substance. Mishnah says also kidcha. I don't know what that is. I think it's like where the eye puffs up. Beginning of the disease or in the middle of the disease, Michael is a Shabbos. You Michael Shabbos. We don't understand this, but Shishuraiki the Aina Toli Belev. Somehow the eye and heart are connected. So a danger to the eye is a danger to the heart. It's at the end of the disease already. And these signs do not indicate a danger. Or a nub, and it's only to put in eye drops which are going to enhance your vision by also Shabbos. That's also in Shabbos. But of course, the doctor says you're in danger. Of course, you're mechalo. If you let blood, it's done and you're cold, have it is danger. You make for him a fire. I feel even in the summer. The any sick person who got cold, have his it's a danger. Both of them make for him a fire. But non-Jew can do it. Tell us the others. Best do it by a non-Jew. This fire, we're not in such a rush. Is that correct? You don't need it momentarily. Ella, of course, Obviously, the doctor says you need to heat immediately. Then, of course, the Jew should immediately ignite the bonfire, and not wait till he can find a non-Jew. Explain the Cholo has no danger. Mutar b'bishuli and Yehudi is allowed to eat bishul akum. But at night, it's also for the but I guess at night the bishul akum is no longer mutter because after Shabbos over, because now the Jew can do it. And the vessel with which the non-Jew cooked in, some say it requires a hechsher. Some say it doesn't require hechsher. You can lie on those who are lenient. Plus, you're there, substitute in Chuf Yod Gimel. Shafilu HaMachol Atzmo Mutar After Shabbos. The food itself is mutar after Shabbos. Hafilu Achem, even to other people. Because when you cook for Shabbos for a sick person, yesh heker. there's a hecker, nobody's going to come to think of that regular Bishul Akum is okay. So Gosler says it's not part of the Gzera of Bishul Akum. It's true there are people arguing this about the food itself. Definitely the vessel you don't have to answer. And if somebody wants to rely on the people who are lenient. And then Avraham is Macha and they argue with him. Chavtes, Isamar, Yain B'toch Ayin also. Wine until eye is no good. The Muchal Milsa should have food clear that's being done for healing. It's a pasuk because you close and open your eye. Gamayin on top of the eye, it's mutter. The people say it's just to rinse his eye. It's only if you don't start blinking. If you blink, also the Muchal Milsa it's clear doing for healing. You put it directly into the eye, it's not shaykh not to blink. So putting it into the eye makes you blink. For Arukh tafel, saliva which is strong, first saliva before a person eats in the day, somehow that's therapeutic. I feel gabav also even on top of the eye it's also. Shedavar hamosu because it's something which is under other circumstances repugnant. So it's clear that the folk is doing it for healing. Because if he can zibble from open his eyes, he can make them moist with this saliva. Because it's clear that he's going to do it just in order to open his eyes. I guess he has some sort of guk, which is keeping his eye closed. Not for the purpose of healing. For Oktafel, and he defines Oktafel, who should come to the chakras, including you get up in the morning, and you haven't yet tasted anything. Uni and yain, in terms of wine, now, in our day and age, when people don't wash their eyes in wine, also, it's forbidden the muchas to sell it for you because it's clear that it's usually done for healing. Hefech, on the contrary, the mayim, mutar. If you want to use water, where you rinse your face, your mouth, and then you take some of the water and put it on your eyes, that's okay, because there are many people who do that all the time.